1500 meters. Mo Farah, the European record holder, now concentrating on the marathon. Firmin Cacho, the championship best, stems right back from 1994. There are men in this field who can run quicker, depending on how they decide to run it. 13 men. And we have 3 Ingebrigtsens. Ingebrigtsen against the Brits, I've heard it called. Abdul Qadir of, or Sheikh Ali as he's probably better known, is Italy on the outside. Then the phenomenal 17-year-old Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the whole clutch of medals to his credit already. Busotti Naves Jr. runs for Italy. Then we have Chris O'Hare for Great Britain. He's a regular placer in major events, but yet to get a top medal. Marcin Lewandowski decided to go for this event rather than the 800 meters. Henrik Ingebrigtsen was the winner in 2012, he's third in 2016, the oldest of the Ingebrigtsen brothers. Jake Whiteman, who's improved his 800 meter speed this year. He's got a really good chance to improve substantially on his 7th 2 years ago. Timo Bennett of Germany, 3 times the German champion, including this year. Then we have Ismail Berjani from Belgium, the national record holder, 3:33.70. Another national record holder, this time for Lithuania, is Simas Vertasius. And the third of them, the reigning champion, Filip Ingebrigtsen from Norway. Also, of course, the world bronze medalist last year. Who will come out top in the Ingebrigtsen battle? Homayou Tesfaye for Germany, 4th and 10th in the last 2 editions of these championships. And the next 3rd British athlete indeed in the field, Charlie Duval-Bryce, to give him the full name by which he now likes to be known. 33.60 at his best, 4th in the Commonwealth Games earlier this year. Well, what a tussle between the Ingebrigtsens. Henrik, of course, obviously doing a lot of 5,000 meter work these days. Philip, the reigning champion, and Jakob, the youngster, who's got an amazing range. He's succeeded in 5,000 steeplechase as well. Off they go in the final of the 1500 meters in the Berlin European Championships of 2018. How will it be run? So pushing already. Pushed to the front there. Debjani of Belgium, but he's now been overtaken by Vertasius, the Lithuanian. Well, he's not messing about at least, that's good. The field's just beginning to get a little bit strung out.
And interesting to see all 3 Ingebrigtsen brothers staying right at the back, out of any trouble. Really working together there.
Yes, we can tell them apart a little bit, the dark glasses worn by the elder statesman. And they are, what a talented group they are indeed. And it's Vertasius who leads this field. And it is, he seems to take a check indeed on the clock. O'Hare, well placed, as we saw a positive run from him in the semi-final. O'Hare from Grice.
59.84 there, through the 400 meter mark for the field.
Henrik beginning to take a little close order, with Philip and Jakob Ingebrigtsen following. Still Vertasius and the 2 British athletes. The other one in the British squad, Jake Whiteman, is comfortably in the middle of the pack in 6th place, as the Ingebrigtsen brothers loom alarmingly for the rest of the field. Look at Jakob, the 17-year-old, coming past. He leads the defending champion, Philip.
It almost looked like they're looking out for each other there. Jakob looking over, and now we have 3 Ingebrigtsens in the lead.
There they go.
Youngster Jakob leading the way, followed by Philip and Henrik. And then there's Chris O'Hare and Homayou Tesfaye behind the 3 Norwegians.
Yes, the fire doing well for the German crowd there.
2:01 they went through in.
So it's just slowed a little bit before the Ingebrigtsen charge. Still seems to Fay running slightly wide, and then O'Hare just behind him. 3 Ingebrigtsen with the German Tefay now moving into 3rd. O'Hare in 4th. Whiteman yet to show much. He's still in touch. Well, it's very rare we see such a brotherly combination. Hard to think of anything that's rivaled this. And this is the youngster, Jakob, who leads at the bell in 2:44.49.
And you can see Charlie Grice there coming past on the outside now. Now we've got 3 Brits versus 3 Norwegians. Grice now coming up on Philip Ingebrigtsen's shoulder. Then there is Chris O'Hare on Henrik's shoulder. And behind is also Jake Whiteman. So it's all blue and white.
Ingebrigtsen and the Brits with Tesfaye, the best placed other athlete. Debjani behind them as well. And we've got still Batasius holding on. The charge round the final bend now, and it's the youngster, the 17-year-old, Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
Charlie Grice in 2nd.
O'Hare is in 3rd. Whiteman is finishing strongly. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen, this sensational 17-year-old talent, they're gaining on him, and they get there in the end. Wow, Jakob Ingebrigtsen just wins it. But there's a fine last effort there to get the silver as well. Oh, what a race, but what a talent. Jakob Ingebrigtsen at 17.
But look at Martin Lewandowski coming there through. I don't know where he came from. I didn't see him anywhere in that race. And he just storms through there. He has this absolutely fantastic finish, the Cole. What a performance from him as well. Jake Whiteman coming through there in 3rd as well.
Yes, and Henrik Ingebrigtsen in 4th, the defending champion Philip Ingebrigtsen, surprisingly far back. So Ingebrigtsen, Lewandowski, Whiteman, Ingebrigtsen, Grice, Batasius and Bennett, so the first 7 there. And this is a superstar of now, let alone the future. What will he go on to do? Jakob Ingebrigtsen at 17.
And the stats just roll off. First time ever at European Championships, 3 brothers have won individual events, let alone the same individual event. The youngest ever European champion at 1500 metres by a very long way, and I'm sure there's loads of other information and stats if we just rummage around.
Well, remember, he's run in the World Junior Championships this year. He got the silver at 1500, he got the bronze at 5,000 metres. He's the European Junior Champion at 5,000 steeplechase. So this is the bottom end of his range.
And it's funny because he just continues running. You can't see it, but there you can see it on the screen. He's just never stopped. Wrapped nice little flag there. Everyone else wraps the flags around them. He's just brought a pole to carry one. And there we can see, very nice there from Martin Lewandowski, congratulating the other 2 Ingebrigtsen brothers as well.
Yeah, well, it's a tremendous finish by Lewandowski. Give him a few more metres, he'd have got Jakob, but he did leave it a little bit too late. Of course, we've seen brilliant finishes from him before, like Schott in the 800.
And Jake Whiteman, of course, won bronze in the Gold Coast in the Commonwealth Games. Now adds a bronze there to his tally. Very good from the young Scottish athlete as well.
So look at this finish, and look at Lewandowski here in the red shorts there, coming so fast up, he almost gets there.
And the defending champion Philip Ingebrigtsen just tossing in the towel with about 80 metres to go, just jogging in 11th place in the end as he hands over the baton to his younger brother.
Jakob showing some tactical awareness there. He looked round just to check, and he saw that he needed to do the dip finish. There it is.
Well, we were complaining about it in the 800-metre semi-finals earlier about Boss not being aware where he was, and that's great maturity from the young Norwegian there, being aware of his surroundings and really showing what a great performer he is. Led a long way off that race. There we have him celebrating, 17-year-old.
The 1500 metres gold went to the 17-year-old Jakob Ingebrigtsen, 3:38.10, 400ths per second ahead of Marcin Lewandowski.
Great final, no heats. A lot of people wondering why, with such a packed entry list, there weren't any heats, but there's 24 men in this final. 2 men missing are Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who we've talked about, and also the 3,000 metre steeplechase winner, Mehrdin Mekesi-Benabad, who was amongst the original entries, but we still have a very, very fine field indeed. Ored Amdouni, as mentioned, the 10,000 metres champion, and coming up from the other direction, the 17-year-old Norwegian, Jakob Ingebrigtsen. There we go, Jakob Ingebrigtsen. From 13:20 this year, when finishing 3rd at the World Under-20 Championships recently. European Under-20 record. Abdel Mechal just missed out on a medal, finishing 4th in the 10,000 metres, the Spaniard. Alongside him, the man who finished 1 place in front with that astonishing burst down the home straight, and the European Under-23 5,000 metre champion, Yamani behind Crippa of Italy. And the number 2 man in Europe this year, Sofiane Bouchiki. Bouchiki finished 6th in the 10,000 metre final. We'll be talking about many more of the other 21 runners as we go along. People to pick out include Antonio Abadia, who won a bronze medal in the 10,000 metres in 2016. Chris Thompson, of course, 210 European silver medalist over 10,000 metres, is also in this race, the oldest man in the field at 37. Oh, when Thompson was winning his first continental medals, Jakob Ingebrigtsen wasn't even born. Trio of very useful Spaniards, made up with Juan Antonio Perez, finished 9th in the 10,000 metre final.
2 Ingebrigtsens side by side, Jakob on the outside with Henrik just inside in 4th and 5th places.
Well, indeed. I mean, they ran a fair chunk of the 1,500 metres final, 3 abreast.
And Jakob's had a busy day so far because he's already had his medal ceremony this afternoon in the centre of town, and then, of course, had to come here and warm up. So, a lot to do for the young Norwegian.
So, the 5,000 metres being led by Florian Carvalho. Back to the men's 5,000 metres final. It's still Carvalho leading from Abadia. And just behind them in 3rd place at the moment, it's Julian Wonders, who now decides to take the lead as he comes through with 6 laps to go. It's the Swiss athlete who's pushing on. Wonders had a good outing in the 10,000 metres final. Now going once again. Well, they've had a reasonable rest. That's the virtue of having 2 finals. Following is Polat Kemboy Arikan, the Turk.
And Wonders, of course, lives and trains in Kenya for 6 months of the year. Really has adopted that lifestyle and says there's so much us Europeans can learn from their culture, especially with regards to running. And he's running pretty well here.
Well, as we're back with the 5,000 metres, it looks as though Abadia has just pulled to one side. Well, at least it was one of the Spaniards. Well, Abadia has not dropped out, but has drifted back a long, long way. And instead, it's the young Ingebrigtsen to the fore, going for what would be quite a stunning double if he was to pull it off. Youngest ever male European champion when he won the 1,500 metres a couple of days ago. Just imagine the reaction in Norway if he was to get the double. So it's the two European champions together, Ingebrigtsen and Amdouni, 1500 metres and 10,000, quite a range. And it's Isaac Kimeli in third place at the moment, the former Spa European cross-country champion, under-23 champion from 2016. Kimeli's improved recently, improved in a very good race in Stanford back in April to 13:21.08. Arakan, well, Arakan's shown no form whatsoever this season, the Turk, but he's up there.
And he dropped out of the 10, of course.
And now it's Florian Carvalho, who does have a good finish, but I'm just wondering what the 10 will have taken out of his legs.
This is not especially quick, 11:21 with 2 laps to go. We'll get a bell time this time.
As they come into the home straight for the penultimate time, 500 metres to go, there or thereabouts, and it's Jakob Ingebrigtsen followed by Henrik Ingebrigtsen as Belgium's Isaac Kimeli gets up there on the shoulder. Amdouni just behind them. Now it's going to really start to pick up the pace. Jakob Ingebrigtsen now at the front, followed by his older brother Henrik. It's Amdouni of France, Kimeli of Belgium. The fast finishing Italian Cripper is in fifth. Arakan starting to struggle just a little bit, starting to lose pace with the leaders, but it's the two Ingebrigtsens at the front. Amdouni coming round. Now it's Kimeli into third. Cripper still not getting up with the leaders, but we know he's got a lightning finish down the home straight, but it's the Ingebrigtsens led by Jakob, the 17-year-old. Behind him his older brother, 2012 European 1500 metre champion, but I don't think he's going to be able to add to his title. It's going to be Jakob Ingebrigtsen coming through for a stunning and memorable double. Jakob Ingebrigtsen adds to his 1500 metre title. He's now the 500,000 metre champion as well. Henrik Ingebrigtsen comes home to make it a memorable family double. Henrik takes the silver. Well, 13:17.06 into the bargain, a European under-20 record.
56-second last lap, and we've just seen one of the most stunning doubles, surely, in distance running history. May not be the fastest pair of runs, but for a 17-year-old to win the 1500, come back the next day and win the 5000, we are seeing history.
Without a doubt. I mean, we can only speculate what's to come. Confirmation there of the time, 13:17.06, indeed it is a European under-20 record. And on the run-in, Murad Amdouni manages to hold off Cripper and Kimeli to take the bronze to add to his gold from the 10,000 metres. But the story has got to be, this is one of the stories of the championship, of course. Dina Asher-Smith, perhaps the women's story. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, probably the men's. What's going on there?
Come on, we can make this one too.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that in a race.
Look at the way he finishes with ease. It's 56-second last lap. Oh.
And we didn't mention it, it's also the European fastest time as well this year.
I'm just speechless. I've just watched that and I couldn't even say anything because this young talent, he was the talk of the arena today. Everyone in the media centre today was talking about his performance last night, and God, what will they be talking about tonight? What a talent.
Jakob Ingebrigtsen has got one more year in the under-20 ranks to continue decimating the records.
And it's nice to see Henrik Ingebrigtsen come through there in second.
Indeed. So Jakob Ingebrigtsen followed home by Henrik Ingebrigtsen, Murad Amdouni taking the bronze medal. Yes, and it was this race which Ingebrigtsen won in Tokyo, and also at the World Championships just a few weeks ago. Just picking out a few of these 20 men who are on the start line. Isaac Kimeli, the very good Belgian. Probably his greatest triumph was the 2018 European cross-country silver. He's also taken silvers at the European Indoor Championships last year. He was behind both occasions
occasions, members of the Ingebrigtsen family. There's Yamani behind Crippa. Outstanding Italian talent. He's run 13.02. Not far from that this year, 13.04. Just wondering what's going through his mind at the moment. How does he take the sting out of Jakob Ingebrigtsen? We've got Mohamed Katir choosing to run in the 5,000 metres. This is a man who took the bronze over 1,500 metres. Adel Machal, 2016 European silver medalist over this distance, and a whole slew of fourth places at both world and continental level. And then, what more can you say about this man that hasn't already been said? Jakob Ingebrigtsen, still just amazingly 21 years of age. Last year, around 12:48.45. That makes him one of the world all-time best runners. So got on the start line, a lot of people to keep out an eye on. The likes of Elzem Bibic from Serbia. Mohamed, of course, from Germany. And he'll get a big reward. He's improved to 13.21 this year. Being pulled back. I was going to say Mohamed has improved to 13.21. In fact, he's gone much faster this year. I'm misreading my notes. It's 13.03.18 that he's done. So they pull them back. Andrew Butchart on his day, very fine runner as well. Britain in there with Sam Atkin.
I doubt they'll give a red card, but it could go to winner's race. Switzerland, I think, is just wobbling on the line.
It's a bit of read.
Excellent, well done, Chris Cohen, getting his camera time today. Earning his sandwich, whatever they give officials. So many volunteers keep our sport running.
Yeah, so we're back on the start line again. Very big field. 12.5 laps of the track. Well, Jakob Ingebrigtsen's European record set in Florence last year, 12:48.45. Championship record held by Jack Buckner of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, dating back to 1986, 13:10.15. You have a feeling that that might just be in danger. Jack Buckner here somewhere in the stadium, the new chief executive of British Athletics. Well, not sure who that is. Should know perhaps. Anyway, it's Yamani behind. Well, we're back, and it's still Nordas at the front with Ingebrigtsen at the back. Well, Nordas, obviously very much the second string Norwegian, but has won the Norwegian 5,000 metres title on 2 occasions. Useful runner in his own right, has improved this year to 13.15. Just into the second kilometre now. Michel's up there, as always, looking as though he's making hard work of it. But he's a very fine runner. It's just really an image. Butchart and Diva, the two Britons working together, have just gone in front of Nordas. Hey, this very strong Frenchman who's won a whole number of titles, European titles in the age groups on the cross-country. Finished second at the European 10,000 metres Cup this year. So the pace at the front is being controlled by Andrew Butchart. Patrick Diva, last year's NCAA champion, crashed out in the heat. So disappointing Eugene for Patrick Diva. There's Parsons, one of the 3 Germans in this race. Very, very strong field indeed.
So Isaac Kameli and Crippa are content to sit in the pack. They feel like this is a respectable pace. I know Jakob Ingebrigtsen ran yesterday in the 1,500 metre heats. He didn't look particularly troubled. Does hold that European record, so there's maybe almost nothing you can do, but when an athlete's doubling 2 events in a championship, you certainly don't want it to be a dawdle.
No, it's turning into that a little bit, I fear. 6 laps to go as they just go through the line. So 2,400 metres.
There's a 68-second lap, 7:07 on the clock. Butchart up there. He's had an interesting season because he was actually fourth at the British Championships, and often you consider you have to be higher than that to make the major championships, but he went out to Eugene and was ninth in his heat. And then the Commonwealth Games, it was quite a small field in which he was seventh, and then Diva, his teammate, really built a reputation for himself, as you said, out in the US, and it's a real chance to see him in major competition internationally.
So the really big pack, which is still together. Nobody off the back just yet. Ingebrigtsen tucked in there. The two Spaniards, well, almost working together side by side. They're coming through with 5 laps to go. 3 kilometres undertaken. Unofficially the time 8:15.77, so not particularly quick. Maybe Jack Butner's championship record will stay for another 2 years after all. But it's still being controlled at the front by Andrew Butchart.
I'm so surprised to see the likes of Isaac Kameli, Johan Cripper let this go this slow. Mike Foppin looked like he was ready to push on. The Dutch athlete on the outside, not necessarily known for a lightning quick finish. Paddy Diva's got a good sprint finish on him. We know Michelle will as well, as will Katia, and Jakob Ingebrigtsen on his day can kick supremely hard. 8:15 through 3K isn't going to cause any of these men much trouble. We talk about these endurance races. If they go hard, if they go to the form book, you get an expected result. But when you run slow like this, you can throw up some brilliant surprises.
I'm actually surprised that Ingebrigtsen hasn't forced the pace at the front. It's something that he could have done possibly at this stage. I thought he might, with the slow pace over the opening 5 laps, think about pushing it with 2 kilometres. Oh, there's all sorts of drama. It's looking like Hugo Hayes gone down. Well, it's just as you were talking about it, Hannah. There was drama, people getting tangled up. Only one man going down, looks like Hay. Cripper now to the front. Imani Bahan Cripper, 13:04 this year, the 4th fastest man on the 2022 rankings. Mohamed of Germany hasn't shown just yet either.
Got to really look at this. The field did supremely well for the rest of them to stay on their feet. Hey, just getting clipped from behind, maybe by Michelle, but when you've got a massive group like that, there's not really anything you can do. You're not going to blame anyone or credit anyone, but the rest of the field still on their feet. Very impressive.
Yes, it looked like he ran up the back of Foppen, and Nordas almost went down as well, but managed to stay on his feet. Ingebrigtsen staying out of trouble. So here they go with 2 laps to go. 3 laps to go. I definitely need my glasses as Ingebrigtsen moves to the front, 1,200 metres. Still Yamani Bahan Cripper at the front, and now he's definitely cranking up the pace. And Ingebrigtsen knows it. He's covering the brakes. Andrew Butchart on the inside. Isaac Kameli, the very good Belgian, up there as well. The 2 Spaniards, Michel and Katir. Katir looking full of running at the moment. We know he's got a good finish. He took a bronze at the World Championships over 1,500 metres. But that pace injection by Cripper and then Ingebrigtsen has strung out the field completely. Now they're covering about 40 metres. But it's Ingebrigtsen forging ahead.
Ingebrigtsen has got to go hard at this point. Katir's covered the move. Expected Del Michel to get himself involved as well. He's a super kicker, the 2nd Spanish athlete. Jakob Ingebrigtsen led some of that 1,500 metres at the World Championships, but not quite fast enough, and he was found wanting in the closing stages over the sprint. He won the 5,000 metres, so of course he knows what he's doing. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen has not shaken off any of the other pre-race favourites. He's piling the pressure down on the penultimate lap, coming down the back straight. When they hit the halfway point, that will be just 600 metres to go. It is going to be an eyeballs out sprint at the end of this men's 5,000 metres.
Well, we were talking about it during the 1,500 metres heats. We're talking about Ingebrigtsen and what happened to him in the 1,500 metres final in Eugene. maybe these runners now believe that Ingebrigtsen can be beaten. It's possibly something they haven't thought for a few years. Katir blowing his cheeks out as they come up. Less than 500 metres to go. They're going to hear the bell very shortly. So now that injection of pace over the course of the last 600 metres has left Ingebrigtsen at the front. 12.26 unofficially at the bell, and he's strung out the field. But he hasn't shaken off Mohamed Katir. He hasn't shaken off Yamani Bahan Kripa. Kimeli going backwards. Almgren coming through. He's trying to close the gap on the leading trio. But as it is at the moment, it looks as though the medals are going to be decided between Ingebrigtsen, Mohamed Katir and Yamani Bahan Kripa. Ingebrigtsen, well, he hasn't really cranked up the pace. You'd think he's just about to go for home. Katir is battling with him. Kripa's off the back. Kripa's going to be having the battle for the bronze with Almgren. But it's now a battle for the gold between Ingebrigtsen and Katir. Just look at the way Katir's gritting his teeth. Ingebrigtsen, though, just changes gears so smoothly. He's just pulling ahead of Katir. He's on his way to his third European Championships gold. Ingebrigtsen defends his title. The time doesn't really matter. Just for the record, it's 13:21.13. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen, once again, is the European 5,000 metres champion.
Jakob Ingebrigtsen had me super worried at the bell. He had a grimace on his face. I thought, is this going to be a replay of the 1,500 metres at Eugene? But it wasn't. He'd saved a little bit for the final stages. 2:23 final kilometre is lightning quick. Katir given some stiff words there from Hugo Hay of France. He clearly thinks Katir was responsible for his fall. Bit of emotion pouring out there for the Frenchman. A season's best for Katir. We haven't seen him much over 5,000 metres, and he saw what that bronze medal meant for Kripa of Italy. He punched the air so often, picking up medals at the age group stage and starting to collect them at a senior level as well. Jakob Ingebrigtsen's collection has got to be pretty full already.
Indeed it is. I'm not sure there's going to be much more space in the cupboard for another gold medal. But he's still got the 1,500 metres to come. So Ingebrigtsen, 13:21.13. Mohamed Katir of Spain gets the silver, and it's Yamani Bahan Kripa of Italy, despite tiring and really struggling over the final 200 metres. Almgren of Sweden nearly got him. But of course, the Italian who came home for the bronze in the end. As we just look at the recap of the closing stages of that race.
Katir, for me, made a number of attempts to get past Jakob Ingebrigtsen, and I didn't know if he was hesitating, or I was going to say, is Katir sort of scared to go past the Olympic champion? But perhaps it was the opposite. Jakob Ingebrigtsen almost neutralising and absorbing every move that Katir tried to make, and that's physically and mentally really hard work. Jakob Ingebrigtsen getting cheered on very passionately from the sidelines. I'm sure he had everybody a tiny bit worried at that 200-metre stage, and Spain's Katir pulled up alongside him. But in the end, he does retain his 5,000-metre title, and that's one half of the double that he's come to Munich to complete.
Yes, an outstanding performance. Katir looking very happy with his silver medal as well. I don't think he thinks he lost that race. He won a silver. Ingebrigtsen, though, peerless over 5,000 metres and almost peerless over 1,500 metres. He's got another titanic battle coming up in the next couple of days in that shorter race. But for the moment, he can bask in the glory of being Norway's first European champion here at the 2022 European Athletics Championships.
Der Pole Michael Rosmich. Und ganz innen steht auch noch der Mann, der ganz knapp an einer Medaille vorbei ist. Mario Garcia aus Spanien.
On your mark.